There's not a damn thing you're gonna be able to do about it.
Really?
Really?
Billy Jack wasn't just a movie. It was a rebellion wrapped in denim, preaching peace with fists of fury. It was banned in some towns, sparked real-life activism, and made over $40 million with no help from Hollywood. Here are 15 weird facts you never knew about Billy Jack. Number 1, Tom Laughlin was more than just the star. You might think Tom Laughlin was just another actor playing a tough guy on screen, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Laughlin wore more hats behind the scenes than most people wear in a lifetime. He wasn't just Billy Jack, he was the whole production. He co-wrote the script with his wife, Dolores Taylor, directed the film under a pseudonym, produced it using his own money, and even handled the distribution when nobody else would touch it. Imagine being the main actor and the person signing every check, editing every frame, and figuring out how to get butts and seats at theaters. That's dedication on a whole other level. Laughlin didn't just believe in the story, he lived it. He poured everything into the film because he knew no one else would. Billy Jack wasn't just a movie for him. It was his mission, his rebellion, and his voice. Number 2, Hollywood rejected it hard. Back in the early 70s, Hollywood didn't exactly roll out the red carpet for a politically charged, low-budget film about a half-Native American Vietnam vet roundhouse-kicking racists. Most studios passed on Billy Jack faster than you could say counterculture. The themes were too bold, the tone was too raw, and the guy behind it, way too independent. Laughlin wasn't interested in playing by the Hollywood rules, and Hollywood wasn't interested in a rebel who didn't follow orders. So after getting turned down again and again, Laughlin said, "Screw it," and released the movie himself. He took out ads, made personal phone calls to theaters, and even booked screens on his own dime. Everyone thought he was nuts, but he believed in his film. And against all odds, audiences showed up. Word spread fast, and the movie went from ignored to iconic. That rejection? It ended up being the best thing that ever happened to him. Number 3, it was actually a sequel. The character actually made his debut 4 years earlier in a lesser-known biker film called The Born Losers. That movie was Laughlin's way of testing the waters, and it worked. The Born Losers introduced Billy Jack as a tough, mysterious loner, standing up to a gang of violent bikers. The audience loved him, but that was just the beginning. Laughlin had a bigger story to tell, one that would dig deeper into Billy's identity, his background, and the social issues he cared about. So Billy Jack 1971 became the real spotlight moment for the character. What's wild is that most people don't even realize Billy Jack was technically a sequel. It's kind of like discovering your favorite superhero movie is actually part 2 of a series. The origin story was already told, you just had to go back and find it. Believe it or not, Billy Jack wasn't the first time the world met the iconic. Number 4. Lawsuits everywhere. If you thought making Billy Jack was tough, the real war started after it was finished. The legal chaos surrounding the movie could have been a courtroom drama all on its own. After Tom Laughlin managed to finish the film, Warner Brothers came on board to help distribute it, but things quickly turned sour. Laughlin accused the studio of mishandling the release, and Warner Brothers didn't appreciate his rebellious attitude. What followed was a roller coaster of lawsuits, countersuits, restraining orders, and broken contracts. At one point, the film was even pulled from theaters, despite its growing popularity. Laughlin fought back hard. He believed Warner Brothers was trying to bury his film, and he wasn't going to let that happen. So he went to court, battled for the rights, and eventually won control of Billy Jack. That's when he re-released it himself, and it exploded at the box office. The whole mess proved one thing. Laughlin wasn't just a fighter on screen, he was a fighter off screen too. Number 5. Laughlin had no formal training in martial arts. Here's the crazy part. Tom Laughlin looked like a black belt, moved like a black belt, and knocked out racists like a black belt. But he didn't actually have one. Laughlin never received formal martial arts training. But you wouldn't know it watching him kick people through saloon doors and sweep legs like Bruce Lee. He worked closely with martial artists to learn the moves he needed for the film, especially Hapkido, which influenced a lot of the fight choreography. He was determined to make the action feel authentic, even if that meant spending hours practicing the perfect kick or punch for one scene. The cool, silent energy he gave off? That was pure acting grit. He understood the attitude behind martial arts, the calm, focused discipline, and blended it with his character's sense of justice. So yeah, even if he wasn't a trained fighter, Laughlin made you believe Billy Jack could kick anyone's butt. And honestly, that's movie magic. Number 6. Made for under $1 million. Billy Jack wasn't some flashy, big-budget Hollywood blockbuster. In fact, it was made on a shoestring budget, just under $1 million. That's pocket change compared to what studios spend today. But what happened next was nothing short of a miracle. The movie didn't just break even. It raked in over $40 million at the box office. That's the kind of return that would make any studio executive do a double take. And the crazy part? This all happened without the usual big-name studio push. Audiences connected with the film's raw message, the underdog energy, and that unforgettable mix of martial arts and social justice. The success shocked the film industry because nobody saw it coming. How could a low-budget movie with no major stars or backing take the country by storm? Turns out, passion, timing, and a little rebellion go a long way. Billy Jack proved you didn't need millions to make millions. You just needed a story that hit home. Number 7. Self-promotion king. Tom Laughlin was the definition of a hustler, in the best way. When studios refused to give Billy Jack a proper release, he took matters into his own hands. Instead of begging for attention, he became his own promoter. He bought full-page ads in newspapers across the country, spreading the word the old-school way. But these weren't typical movie ads. They were bold, direct, and emotional. Some read like political manifestos more than movie promos, speaking directly to the public about justice, peace, and standing up to oppression. It was like he turned every ad into a conversation and people responded. Laughlin believed in his movie so much that he didn't mind breaking the rules of traditional marketing. And guess what? It worked. The ads sparked curiosity. They made people talk. Suddenly, a film that no studio wanted to touch was the one everyone wanted to see. He didn't just sell a movie, he sold a movement. Number 8. Even the trailer was revolutionary. Most movie trailers back then were played in theaters before other films. But Tom Laughlin? He had a different idea. He wanted to reach people where they were. And in the early 1970s, that meant the living room. So he made history by airing the Billy Jack trailer during The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, one of the most watched programs in America at the time. Millions of people were tuned in, probably not expecting to see a trailer for an indie film about martial arts and social justice. But there it was, raw, powerful, and totally unlike anything Hollywood was doing. It was the first time a movie trailer had ever been aired on primetime TV, and it changed the game completely. People who had never even heard of Billy Jack suddenly knew about it, and interest skyrocketed. That one move proved that Tom Laughlin wasn't just a filmmaker. He was a marketing genius who knew how to grab attention on his own terms. Number 9. Tackled taboo topics. Billy Jack was never meant to be just an action flick. It was a bold middle finger to injustice and silence. At a time when most movies stayed far away from political landmines, this one ran straight through them. The story takes place in a small town where a school for progressive, mixed-race kids is constantly harassed by racist locals. And Billy, half Native American and a Vietnam vet, decides he's had enough. The film digs into racism, anti-war sentiments, Native American identity, and how young people were rising up against the system. It was heavy, emotional stuff, but that's why people connected to it. It wasn't afraid to ask tough questions or call out the ugly truth hiding in plain sight. You felt something watching it, whether it was anger, pride, or pain. It wasn't perfect, but it was brave. And in a world of safe, shiny stories, Billy Jack dared to be dangerous. Number 10. Inspired real-world activism. What makes Billy Jack really special is that it didn't just stay on the screen. It jumped into real life. In the film, there's a school called the Freedom School, where kids are taught to think for themselves, express their feelings, and stand up for what's right. It wasn't about memorizing textbooks, it was about becoming better humans. That idea hit home for a lot of viewers, especially young people and educators. They didn't just admire the school, they started building their own versions of it. Across the country, small freedom schools popped up, inspired directly by what they saw in the movie. These weren't just fan clubs or themed projects. These were actual schools, rooted in the belief that education should empower, not control. That's how deep the film's message ran. It wasn't just entertainment, it became a blueprint for real change. Few movies can say that, and Billy Jack wears that badge with pride. Number 11. The One Tin Soldier song became iconic. If you've ever heard One Tin Soldier, you know how it hits differently. That haunting, almost fairy tale-like song opens and closes Billy Jack. And once you hear it, you don't forget it. It's not just background music. It is part of the film's soul. The lyrics tell a story about people fighting over treasure, only to realize too late that the real treasure was peace all along. It's simple, but powerful. And in the context of the movie, with its themes of injustice, violence, and fighting for what's right, the song becomes almost prophetic. It got stuck in people's heads and hearts. After the movie came out, the song became a hit on its own, climbing the charts and being played everywhere. For many, it became an anthem of the era. Even decades later, when people hear it, they still think of Billy Jack and everything that movie tried to say. It's one of those rare times when a song and a film become one. Number 12. Tom Laughlin ran for US president. Tom Laughlin wasn't just content with playing a movie hero, he actually wanted to be one in real life. After the success of Billy Jack, he took his passion for justice and politics to a whole new level by running for president of the United States. And not just once, he threw his hat in the ring multiple times, running as an independent and even as a Democrat in later years. He wasn't your typical politician, though. His campaigns were as unconventional as his movies. He talked about things like education reform, mental health awareness, and corruption in big business. He even claimed he could run the country better because he understood the power of storytelling and connecting with people emotionally. Of course, he never came close to winning, but that didn't stop him from trying. To him, it wasn't about the votes, it was about spreading ideas. Just like Billy Jack, he wanted to shake things up. Number 13. Sequel disaster. After Billy Jack became a surprise hit, Tom Laughlin had big plans for a sequel. That came in the form of The Trial of Billy Jack, a much longer, more political follow-up that dove even deeper into the issues of government abuse, civil rights, and free speech. Sounds powerful on paper, but in reality, the film struggled big time. It was nearly 3 hours long, super preachy, and much heavier on talk than action. Critics tore it apart. Even fans of the original were confused by its tone. But Laughlin stood by it 100%. He believed The Trial of Billy Jack was just as important, if not more, than the first film. He said it wasn't about entertainment anymore, it was about exposing real-world injustice. While the movie didn't make the same impact as its predecessor, it showed that Laughlin was never in it just for fame or money. He wanted to change minds, even if the box office didn't back him up. Number 14. Cult status lives on. You'd think Billy Jack would have faded into the background, like so many other 70s relics, but somehow, it keeps finding new fans. Believe it or not, Billy Jack has popped up on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and meme pages, with Gen Z viewers stumbling across clips of that famous roundhouse kick or the school confrontation scenes. There's something timeless about the character's calm but deadly vibe that still hits hard, even for people born decades after the movie came out. The style, the message, the emotion, it all feels oddly fresh in an age of political chaos and social movements. Younger audiences are even remixing scenes with modern music or turning Laughlin's serious moments into viral soundbites. Whether they see it as campy or iconic, they're engaging with it. That's what makes Billy Jack more than a film. It's a cultural echo. Decades later, it's still getting people to watch, react, and think. That's a rare kind of staying power. Number 15. The hat, the jeans, the attitude. Even people who've never watched Billy Jack can usually recognize his look. That iconic black cowboy hat, the denim jacket, the worn jeans, and the stoic stare. It's like the unofficial uniform of a 70s rebel. His whole style wasn't flashy, but it spoke volumes. It said, "I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to do what's right." That vibe stuck. You see it pop up in fashion, music videos, and even modern shows where characters channel that same lone wolf energy. The Billy Jack look became more than a costume. It became a symbol. It stood for standing up to bullies, protecting the innocent, and doing it all without needing to say much. That outfit, combined with his attitude, gave him an almost mythic presence. You didn't need a cape or superpowers. All you needed was a black hat, a clear conscience, and the guts to kick back when the world got ugly. And that's why the image still holds up today. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below. And while you are at it, remember to subscribe to our channel.